Hey listener, and welcome to another episode of Life Through a Learner's Eye. I'm your host Armugan, and this is the episode 7. And today I want to talk about numerous things, not numerous, maybe 2 or 3. I want to talk about some things, and and I want to share a failure story at first. I want you to know about my failures as well. Today is Wednesday. I don't know the date, December something, 4th of December, I remember it. So yesterday I was trying to record this podcast. I was trying to record the 7th episode and I couldn't. I don't know why. It was like I was too much inside my head and I couldn't record it. So yeah, I know I had to prime myself to do it today. So yeah, here I am, and this is just to tell you guys that I failed, and I failed greatly. And failure is just a part. It doesn't have to stay. It can end. It can end really fast. So yesterday I was trying to talk about engagement, and engagement is a really fun topic. Engagement is a really serious one. It's a fun and a serious one. It's a combination. Engagement is something when you're really, really immersed into. When you are really immersed into doing something, when you're really engaged, you mean that you put your heart, your soul, your mind, your body, everything into it. You give your best. And when you're engaged, time passes by, time flies. An hour feels like a minute. And when you are not engaged, when you are like bored out of your mind, a minute feels like an hour. And I know you must have experienced it in your life. When you're really engaged at doing something, anything. You love it. You actually love how you are spending your time. You actually love what you're doing and you don't want it to end, of course. So let me give you a little bit of example of engagement. Let me give you my example. I'm your friend. So yeah, let's go with it. Me when I record my podcast, and I never record my podcast by sitting. I think I have done it one time, but I mostly I'm standing and I'm trying to imagine your face in front of me as I'm talking, and I'm just trying to tell you everything, not like you overload you with information or something, but I want to provide you as much value as I can in this segment of mine. So when I'm doing this, in the start when I started doing this, I looked forward to this time. When I waited for my recording time, and when I recorded, I went on speaking, and 20 minutes pass by and they don't feel like anything. I know 20 minutes are not that much, but still they're like a second or two for me. That's when you're really engaged. The same goes for most of the, and you look around, and the most of the great leaders of the world and the most successful persons, they're really engaged in what they're doing. I mean, Albert Einstein, Albert Einstein was really engaged in physics. So he actually, this is true, that he made a recipe of his own, that I don't remember the recipe, that could boil eggs faster for him, and then he could eat faster, so he could just return to his work. That's how much crazy he was, and that the craziness got rewarded. Aristotle said that nothing great ever existed without a touch of madness. The madness of Albert Einstein got rewarded, of course. The theory of relativity as we see it today. So engagement is a really important thing, and I love the education system. I don't. That was sarcasm. I want to talk about the education system and engagement and how they link on an inversely proportional relationship. As physicists say it, inversely proportional. Just recall for 1 second, when you were in school or when you were in college, how were you supposed to learn? Were you supposed to talk? I mean, talking was like hell, right? Were you supposed to discuss? Nope, you were not. You were supposed to sit down, don't move, don't do any physical actions, just stay still, stay statue, and listen to this teacher of yours, right? And just try to grab as much as you can. Here's the fun fact. It's been proven by research that if you learn like this, like you learned in the school, after a 3 weeks period, you'll only remember like 30%. And if you write it down, just by writing it down once by your hand, the numbers went from 30% to 50%. In 3 weeks, you'll remember 50% of it. But if you are physically active, if you are really engaged in what you're learning, and you have this energy, this engagement inside of you, and you'll remember 90% of it after a 3 weeks period. It will be inside you. So, and all of the school is based on memory and memory testing. They don't even excel at there. You want them to learn, you want them to memorize. At least they are humans. We are humans. Like, we are not robots. Why don't you let us move? Why don't you let us discuss? I wake up. I have to go to college at 7:50, and I come back at 1:40. And all the time, I'm just looking for a time to stand up. During the period breaks, I stand up, and I am just trying to move because I'm so tired of sitting in that tiny itty bitty chair. Because it's so tiring, really. And when you're not in a great state, when you're not engaged, you cannot learn. It's research proven. And if great leaders, these great leaders, if you look at them, they have this energy. They have this energy inside. Most of what people call is charisma. This energy, all of it comes out when you are in a great state, when you're really engaged, when you really love what you do. So if you're not engaged in your life, you need to be more engaged. And don't be like more engaged in studying. Of course you won't be, because it's how Sir Ken Robinson says is that students sit down hour after hour doing low-grade satirical work. He used this word, low-grade satirical work. So of course you won't be engaged at much level there. And I'll give you one more example. Tony Robbins. I know I refer to that guy a lot. He's like one of my mentors. So Tony Robbins, he does these seminars. He's a crazy guy. He's actually he's a living giant. Not like a real giant, but he's big in size as well. Tony Robbins, he does these seminars. There are multiple programs for this seminar, and those of you who might know him or who might have been to the seminar, I know it's a great experience. I haven't been there. I really badly want to, and I will one day. I must. So in his seminar, the Date with Destiny is one of his seminar, and I'll give you a little bit of preview of how engagement, how he thinks that engagement is so important, and how he keeps his audience engaged. They're like, on an average, there are like 2,000 people there, and the 2,000 people, they have to report at this seminar from like full days, like full 6 days. They learn 6 full days, like from morning to midnight they learn. And none of them, if you look at them, they'll have the same energy. They'll have the same energy at the end of the 6th day as they had at the start of the first day. And why is that? Because Tony understands the mind-body connection, and the mind-body connection is that you cannot change your mind if you don't change your body, if you don't change how you use your body. So actually, it's another topic. It's for another podcast. We'll get into that. So that he understands engagement. And if you go and ask any one of the seminar attendees, or somebody who attended the seminar, I don't know what you call them, if you go and ask them, they'll tell you that they remember everything. And most of the people, they go and they live a really, really happy, fulfilled. They make great changes in their life just by this 6th day. Really, that's and magic. He doesn't do magic, of course. He's not like a wizard or something. He does something really simple. He understands the human mind, and he executes on the right instructions. And he makes you learn in 6 days what you can't the in the 24 years of your college and high school and school. No, it's I don't. The education system does a lot of great jobs. I mean, they do a lot of great advancement, but the problem is that all of them are going in the wrong direction. If you don't even understand the basic facts of human being, like creativity and diversity and engagement being one of them, how can you expect them to learn? And when things go wrong, they're like, these kids are so entitled or something. Like, wow, you raised us. If somebody tells you you're entitled, seriously, go tell them you raised them. But don't be rude, of course, be nice, because people do the best they can with the resources they have. Even the people who behave bad, that's their behavior, not them. Don't be rude, just be kind. I was joking. Don't actually say that. If you have to prove your point, that's okay, but don't be rude. That's an order from me. That's a request from a friend. So that was engagement, and that was the education system. And the second thing I want to talk about related to the education system is that all our lives when we are in these schools, we learn one thing. We learn one thing at a great extent: the fear of failure. And I'll talk about it in the next podcast in much detail as well, in the next coming podcast. But I want to get into it right now. Because, the fear of, if you have an exam tomorrow and, you haven't prepared, you'll be scared out of your minds. Standard tests are what get students up in the morning. They get them working. Because they are so fearful, and they're so fearful that they can do anything just to get better marks, even if that is immoral. They'll cheat their parents, they'll cheat their teachers, and then these teachers and the parents, they go like, what is going wrong? This is what's going wrong. You instill in them in the fear of failure, a fear of being wrong. And you think that they have this somehow. They don't have this. They get it from you. We students, we get it from you. And nobody great has ever achieved anything. Nobody has ever achieved anything great without failing at it. Failing is a part of our life. And when we have this fear of being failed or fear of being wrong, we don't ask, we don't seek, we don't have the hunger anymore. Because you won't go and try something, because if you are so scared and worried about what will happen if you fail, you won't even try. Failure must be rewarded, because it is a reward. Actually, it is a sign that there is room for improvement. There you have to find another way. It's an important part of our life. I might fail in this podcast. I might fail in all of in my channel, all of this. I might fail, but I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm in another day, I'm going to make another one, and I'm going to do this again, because I love doing this. Failing is a part. You have to accept it, and you don't have to you have to accept it, and you have to see where you made that mistakes that you must not in the next time. It's a part of growing. It's a part of nurturing. It's a gift. But the education system makes us so fearful of it that even in our practical life, we don't even try something new. We don't take risks. The high risk, high reward. That is not actually true in most of the cases, but you have to take risks in your life if you want to get something great. You have to try new things. You need to have the hunger. Failure is a part. You have to accept it. No. Anybody of you who has ever failed, anybody of you who has ever failed and you are right now and that failure happened, how will you look at your failure from now? Like 10 years back that failure happened, how will you look at it? If you think you are really happy, if you feel it, if you're really fulfilled, how do you think that failure is? Do you regret not doing anything about it, or are you happy that failure came and you did something about it? Regret is another poison. If you couldn't do something about it then, you can sure do it now. We need to change this thing in our education system. We need to educate we need to educate students about that failure is just another part. It's not an answer, it's not the end, it's actually the beginning. We have to educate them about this. That's on failure, everything that's on the fear of failure. We stop seeking. And there's this fact. This is not like a thing from the Bible, this is a fact. Seek and you shall find. This is a real fact. And it has also been proven scientifically. There's a research on this. And you can do this research right now. Actually, yeah, let's do this research. While you're listening to me, in 2 minutes, in like 5 seconds, not 2 minutes, in 5 seconds, look for everything around in your room. If you are in a car or something, just look for everything around that is brown. Look for brown, and when I say go, and you go in 5 seconds, capture as many things as there are as they're brown. Just capture brown, okay? Okay, go now. Look for brown, 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 look around, look for brown. Okay, now close your eyes. Close your eyes and tell me everything that was red. I know you can't. Now, okay, open your eyes, and I want you to really look for red this time. For 5 seconds, go around in your room and look for red. Go now. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red, find red, look for red. Okay, now close your eyes. Did you see much more red this time than brown? Yes, you did. And why is that? Because you were looking for red. You were not looking for brown. You were seeking for the red and you found it. You were not seeking from the brown. And there's another fun thing here. This is the most fun part. This is what I like. How many of you saw something that was kind of related to red but was not actually red, and you call it red just to make yourself feel happy or achieved? You did that, right? Some of you did that. The lesson we learned is that you find what you seek, but even when it's not there, you create it. That's a simple thought experiment, right? And that was fun. That is really fun. I like this experiment a lot. So seek and you shall find. If you have your eyes on a goal or something, and if you're seeking an answer or anything, you'll find it. And if it's not there, you'll create it. Ask and you shall receive. If you ask your mind a question again and again and again, it has to come up with an answer. It's a device that responds to your question. Ask yourself, what is the meaning of your life? Ask again, and eventually you'll have the answer. And if you ask a stupid question, of course you'll get a stupid answer. If you ask like, why am I not losing weight? Why am I not losing weight? I have tried everything, still I don't lose weight. Why? If you go down this path, your mind will eventually respond, you're a pig. That's why. Ask a better question, receive a better answer, seek and you shall find. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you really enjoyed. I enjoyed a lot. If you have any queries, any ideas, please be sure to throw them down in the comment right now. And I'd love to talk with you. I'll see you in the next one. And thanks for sticking to the end.